So, it's already 5:30 a.m. At kakauwi ko lang galing paghatid sa kanila sa work. And dahil may busy ako maghapon sa pagre-repat ng ibang plants at may pipick upin ako sa supplier and magde-deliver ng mga orders, sisimulan ko na ngayon agad yung pag-uproot and pag-air-dry ng mga rose cabbage, and will tell you more about rose cabbage o kung bakit maraming namamatayan daw, which is it is very common succulent pero marami pa ring nahihirapan magpabuhay. And good thing is I bought these succulents. They're all overwatered na from the garden shop, and I bargained it from my supplier para nga dito sa vlog na to mapakita ko sa inyo kung ano bang ginagawa ko, paano bang masasave yung mga rose cabbage lalo na pag na-overwater natin. And ang goal ko rin talaga dito for myself is to save those rose cabbages and adapting them, and gusto ko silang maging mas maganda tingnan kahit na lumiit na sila, nabuwasan na sila ng leaves, ang dami na natanggal, halos nagmamashi leaves na sila, nag-yellow na yung leaves nila, which is cause of overwatering dahil nga masyadong open dun sa garden shop. And I hope this video will give you an idea on how to save or how to take care of a rose cabbage. So, let's go na po. Lalabas na ako ulit para dun sa rose cabbage. Since masyadong putik yon at masyadong muddy, wala na ako, dapat i-air dry ko siya. Or, papatuyin ko pa yung lupa. Pero, 4 days na siya sa akin, or 5. Pero ganun pa rin, napaka-muddy niya pa rin. Inilabas ko na nga siya sa polybag actually. And nilagay ko siya sa pwestong naaarawan ng indirect sunlight. Indirect sunlight and mahangin na hindi nababasa. But still, pag-check ko kanina ngayon, basa-basa pa din. So I think mahirapan ako mag-uproot, which is ididiretso ko na agad siya ng washing with water, at saka ko siya ibabawasan ng roots. At hanggat maaari, pwede rin ako mag-experiment dito na ano yung mas madaling mag-grow ng another roots at mas mabubuhay, yung tipong binawasan lang natin ng konting roots like what we usually do, or kapag kinat natin yung dulo ng stem na may roots, as in wala siyang roots na matitira, and then i-air dry natin, tapos i-re-repat. And let's go na po. These are my rose cabbages that I bargained from my supplier. Yes, it doesn't look good that well, but I'll show you how I will try to save them or teach you care tips about ECHEVERIA imbricata, or commonly known as rose cabbages. Plants are easy to love, they're easy to care. Sunny disposition and moderate growth habits make them perfect for warm season outdoors or well-lit interiors. The ECHEVERIA succulent plant is just a specimen, thriving on brief periods of neglect and low water and nutrients. ECHEVERIA care is practically foolproof and grows well in either containers or toasty garden beds. The many varieties and colors of ECHEVERIA plants provide wonderful tones and texture for mixed beds and pots. The most important part of good ECHEVERIA care is watering. The biggest issue with the succulents is overwatering. Provide moderate amounts of water in the hot, dry season Let the soil dry out completely before you irrigate again. Potted plants should not be left in a water saucer. Soft rots and root rots issues occur when the plant is too wet. So, pag tinanggal po sa polybag, tanggalin lang yung lupa. Press lang. Or use a stick. Barbecue stick. Suko nyo lang. Kapag muddy or matigas yung lupa. Makikita nyo po ang dami ng dried leaves. And usually pagka ganyan, it is because of overwatering. Kita-kita naman po na sobrang muddy ng lupa. And possible na nag-stem rot na sila or root rot. Proper succulent care can be easy as long as you know a few basics. Hopefully, from the tips in this vlog, will help you ensure the long and happy life of your succulents. Are your succulent leaves falling off? Or maybe they just aren't growing well? Growing succulents doesn't have to be difficult. In fact, succulents can be a really low maintenance plant that looks great year-round. So, habang nag-remove po ng soil, pwede nyo nang tanggalin yung mga dried leaves. Or, mamaya na lang kapag nag-wash na tayo ng roots using running water. Succulents are the ideal houseplant, especially if you don't have a green thumb. Learn how to take care of them and keep your plants alive and thriving. Don't underestimate the power of that succulent in your living room. We believe part of the satisfaction of living within their plants is in their modest requirements, and just as much pleasure can be found in a humble potted CNS as in a conservatory full of demanding tropical plants. Kapag nag-air-dry po ako or nag-uproot at nag-check din ng plants ng potted succulents ko, hindi ko po muna nire-remove yung ganyan. Hindi pa siya super dry kasi sayang yung nutrients or water na nasa leaves niya na pwede pang pagkunan ng stem or ng ibang leaves ng nutrients or tubig. It's likely your indoor greenery will find you when you are least prepared, given as gifts, or perhaps stealing your attention while strolling through a local market. Whether you've been gifted a rose cabbage or jade plant or you picked up an echeveria at the store, it's important to learn how to take care for succulents. First, make sure your succulents get enough light. Succulents love light and need about 6 hours of sun per day, depending on the type of succulent. But I highly suggest that we expose them with morning sun. Newly planted succulents can scorch in direct sunlight, so you may need to gradually introduce them to full sun exposure or provide shade with a sheer curtain, or in short, indirect sunlight. Tingnan nyo. Pero siguro baka hindi ko pa na siya tanggalin. Kasi once na nag-air dry tayo, normal na malalagasan pa rin tayo ng leaves. Swerte kung hindi malalagasan ng leaves habang nag-air dry, nag-uproot or nag-wash through running water. Pero kung magpalagasan man po ng leaves, it's very normal. Huwag kabahan.
Rotate succulents frequently. Succulents love direct sunlight, but if yours is sitting in the same exact spot day after day, it's likely that only one side is getting enough light. Succulents will lean towards the sun, so rotating them will help them stand up straight. Leaning may also be a sign that they need to be in a sunnier spot. But then again, if they're newly repotted succulents, they don't need to be exposed in the sun yet. They only need indirect sunlight or partially introduce them to the sun.
Yung ganyang kadaming roots, mamaya posibleng makalbo. At huwag kayong matatakot na maubusan ng roots yung inyong succulents. Kasi much better yun. Mas madali sila or mabilis silang mag-grow ng new roots para makapag-adapt dun sa new soil mix nila kapag nakalbo yung root part nila. What is that? Yung stem niya. Oo nga, stem niya. Diba napaka-muddy? Sign of overwatering na magkakos ng root rot.
Water according to the season. Just like us, succulents need more energy when they're in a period of growth.
Yan niya, may pops na to.
During summer, the plants are thriving and drinking up much more water. So, I highly recommend testing the soil with a finger. When the top 1 inches or 1.25 inches are dry, grab your watering can and then water them. But overwatering can kill your succulents, so make sure you let the soil dry between waterings. Water the soil directly. When you water your succulents, soak the soil until water runs out of the drainage holes, if that is already stable. If your container doesn't have much drainage holes, use less water. Don't use a spray bottle to water your succulents. Misting can cause brittle roots and moldy leaves. You can also place pots in a pan of water and allow the water to absorb through the drainage hole. Once the top of the soil is moist, remove from the pan. Keep your succulents clean. Inevitably, your indoor plants will gradually pick up dust on their surface, which can inhibit their growth. So wipe off the leaves and spines gently with a damp cloth or use a soft paintbrush to get a hard-to-reach spots. Choose a container with drainage. Succulents don't like to sit in a waterlogged soil, so drainage is more important to prevent rot. Your container should have a drainage hole to allow excess water to escape. Terracotta pots are ideal for beginners. Plant succulents in the right soil. Succulents need soil that drains, so regular potting soil or dirt from your yard won't do. Choose cactus soil or mixed potting soil with sand, pumice, or perlite. Succulents' roots are very fragile to be gentle when repotting. Get rid of bugs. Pests shouldn't be a problem for indoor succulents, but occasionally you may have to deal with bugs. Gnats are attracted to succulents that are planted in soil that is too wet and doesn't have proper drainage. To get rid of eggs and larvae, spray the soil with 70% isopropyl alcohol. Mealybugs are not another pest succulents owners have to deal with. Overwatering and overfertilizing are the common causes of mealybugs.
Sa ganitong situation po ng dahon, cut na. Wala na. Okay na pong tanggalin na yun. Look, hindi na pantay. Hindi na even yung kanyang pagkaroset. But still, we are going to take care of this.
Fertilize succulents in the summer. Succulents don't need much fertilizer, but you can give them light feeding during summer growing season. Be careful not to over-fertilize. This can cause your succulents to grow too quickly and become weak because of depending in the fertilizer that we use.
So, pwede na siya magkaroon ng panibagong pops. Dalawa sana. So, alam mo kang negative na itong isa. I don't know with this one. Kasi kapag nirepat to, possible na matabunan.
Cacti and succulents come in all shapes and sizes. You can move on to more rare and more expensive cacti and succulents once you've gotten used to caring for more common plants like this Echeveria imbricata or rose cabbage that is one of the very most common succulent. So again, the general rule is water when dry. For plants that have already grown a stable root system in their pots, it's best to water until the water runs through the pot hole. But for new potted succulents, just make sure that the top soil is moist and that is enough. I have vlog of how I watered my plants using just 10 ml of water in each pot. So be observant. Observe how your plants are. How they grow will generally tell you what they need. If the plant is growing out longer as if trying to reach more sunlight, it is probably etiolation. That means it needs more sun.
Uod! Ayun o. La! Gulat ako. See? Minsan may uod na kasi sobrang muddy na. And sobrang organic yung soil. Kaya mas madali silang magkaroon ng mga bugs and insects. Or fungi. Another one na may pops. At dalawa na yata yung pops niya. Tingnan natin.
So beware of pests. You may choose to use fungicide to treat your plants if you do find pests, but an organic option would be a solution composed of 1 spoonful of dishwashing soap, vinegar, and water that you can spray on your plants. So I will cut the roots so they will grow more new roots faster.
Kaya hindi mo. Ano kalahati? Nag-i-air-dry mo pa yan. Diyan lang may piso pa ako. Ito na kalahati ulit.
Papapala mo ang cutter mo.
Ano to?
Hindi ko alam. Papapala mo ang cutter.
Dito lang, meron yan laki.
Hindi nga, yun isa yung 40-40.
This one, I'll show you how I cut the stem. So be careful using cutters. We're done washing. So they're now ready for air drying. I'll air dry them at least 5 days before I repot. Just checking after 3 days of air drying.
In-air dry natin na mga rose cabbage. As you can see, merong mga talagang naglagas-dagas at konti na lang yung natira na leaves. But still, we're going to try to save them kung mabubuhay pa sila. Ito rin yung dalawang may pups pa and baby. Ito pa yung iba. As I've noticed, merong mga nakakat ang fruit na naglagas. Meron ding mga yun ang nag-survive na mas matagal, na may marami pang leaves. And meron din na yung mga may natirang roots ang mas malago pa. At meron pa din na mga may natirang roots pero konti na lang ang natira na leaves. So, ready na po ang ating DIY soil mix para i-repot sila after 5 days of air drying. So, I already prepared their pots with lava rocks as bedding. Lagyan na natin sila ng soil mix. Now, we're going to put them. Remove ko na lang yung mga super lanta na. But usually, I don't remove them kasi sayang pa yung water or nutrient na mahihigop or makukuha ng stem and other leaves doon.
Echeveria and other non-hardy succulents look amazing in patio planters. You can keep them healthy during the cold months by moving them indoors. Then, once the threat of frost has passed, gradually move them back outside in spring or summer. Other people who want to enjoy these colorful plants but don't want houseplants treat Echeveria like usual or annual and just plants anew each summer and spring, like they're used to in their native growing grounds. Echeveria like full sun. However, try to avoid these two things: drastic sun-like changes and summer afternoon full sun. Dramatic changes in lighting can stress plants out. So if you are moving your plants outside in the spring or summer, do it gradually. A couple of hours in morning sun, then a few more until they are in full sun. Intense afternoon sun can, in some regions, be too strong and the leaves will sunburn. Burned leaves will not heal, and since Echeveria keep their leaves for a long time, it will look burned for a long time. If the damage is severe, you will be best off to cut the head of the plant and let it regrow from the stalk. When you water your Echeveria, water the soil and not the rosette. Pour on water until it drains out to the bottom, once they are already stable. Repeat this couple of times, then don't water again until the soil has dried out. You don't want your plant to remain soaking wet all the time. To help prevent this, don't let the pot sit in a saucer full of water. The time between watering depends on the temperature and conditions of the plant. The most common problems seen on Echeveria are due to poor watering habits. Overwatering can produce similar symptoms: wilting, shriveling, dropping leaves. So you know your own watering habits best. Keep an eye on your plants and make adjustments if needed. So again, for the soil, like all succulents, Echeveria needs soil that drains quickly. So this helps prevent moisture from rotting in the roots. Many growers will create their own special mixture of soil and perlite. However, good quality potting soil or a cactus mix will work fine. As a rule of thumb, when you squeeze a handful of moist soil together, it should crumble apart again when released. You will often read or hear sandy is the soil requirement for succulents. This simply means that the soil needs to drain well. If you do add actual sand to your soil, make sure that it is coarse-grained. Fine sand will clog the air pockets in the soil. If you keep your plants alive for several years, you will want to repot them. Getting a fresh change of soil every couple of years will keep them healthy and growing well. For fertilizer, it is not a continual requirement for Echeveria. Succulents grow natively in soil without a lot of nutrients, so they are especially susceptible to fertilizer burn. However, they can benefit from the occasional extra boost. Use a slow-release fertilizer at the beginning of spring or summer, or a liquid fertilizer diluted 2 to 4 times more than normal and used less often than recommended. Use a low nitrogen mix or a cactus fertilizer. Remember that it is a lot easier to over-fertilize succulents than to under-fertilize. When you pot up your Echeveria, you have a wide range of containers to choose from. Generally, the smallest size possible or something that is just bigger than the root ball is the right choice, or like what I used, this is a 3x3 size.
Yung iba dito, konti na lang talaga yung natirang leaves. Yung iba, may mga pinalad na madami-dami pa. But we'll see if they all survive. So, this is saving overwatered rose cabbages from garden shop, and as well as care tips for rose cabbages. So, ano po bang masasabi ko or mas-suggest kong care tips for rose cabbages? After natin i-uproot, i-air-dry, and i-repot, after a week bago natin sila didiligan because kailangan maging stable muna sila sa kanilang new soil or new pot at mag-grow sila ng kanilang new roots. And for that, another tip is kailangan hindi sila masyado masasagi para hindi sila ma-stress na mag-grow ng panibagong roots. Hindi sila tatamaan ng direct sunlight. Indirect would be fine pero I suggest na wag muna for a week. Bright shaded area lang po. And after a week na 10 sila didiligan ng around 10 ml of water. Which means konti lang. Just enough water para mabasa natin yung topsoil nila. Hindi kailangan full water muna. Once na new repot lang sila. Wag na wag din po silang pauulanan or mababasa lalo na yung leaves nila kasi magiging overwatered na nga sila. Magmamashi pa yung leaves nila at mabubulok kapag to'y nabasa. So just place them in a bright shaded area and good yung aeration or talagang may hangin na mapasok sa place or sa area ng pagpupwestuhan nila. To be honest, yung first cabbage, rose cabbage ko, my first rose cabbage, ganyan lang din yung size nila, mga ganito. Nung binigay sa akin at may ganitong pop, ganito kalit. And look at it now. Mas malaki na siya. At nag-grow na din yung kanyang pop. I just added Oscomote recently. Pero nadiligan ko na to. So see, yes, normal na magkaroon ng mga leaves na maglalagas. And actually, yellow leaves is a sign of overwatered succulent or plant. Pero around more than a week ko na tong inuuhaw sa water. Hindi ko sila dinidiligan, but see, it's still healthy. And look at that. Malaki na yung pop niya. Paano po ba natin malalaman na nag-grow ng new roots yung plant natin or succulents like Echeveria? This one, rose cabbage, ay kung makikita ba natin, nagkakaroon sila ng panibagong growth in the middle part, and as long as na mas lubog yung gitna or middle part ng rose cabbage or ng any Echeveria or succulent, that means it's still healthy and it is growing. Nagiging stable siya sa kanyang new pot. Before ko to i-air dry at i-repot, naglagas-lagas din siya. From that size, naging almost parang ganito siya. And nung nirepat ko siya, normal pa din talagang naglagas ng leaves at kala ko talaga mamamatay na. But again, hindi ko lang siya diniligan basta-basta. Tapos, after more than a month or 2, ngayon na lang ulit siya nagkaroon ng paglalagas ng leaves. Maybe it's a sign na uho na sila. Kasi hindi ko naman siya na-overwatered na. Pero, I'll just let it for a couple of days bago ko pa sila diligan. Mas maigi na kasing ma-underwater sila kaysa overwater. So, just make sure that the soil mix and the pot have drainage holes. Best for drainage na mas marami yung pumice, 70-30 ratio or 80-20, 70% pumice. I have my video before, a vlog of how I make my soil or DIY soil mix. I'll just put the link below in the description box. So, that's it. I hope this video helps you, so give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more updates and for more upcoming videos. Thank you. Happy growing!